Scott also family, this is your boy JC, and today we're gonna do I'm gonna be doing a little live commentary between a conversation that Piers Morgan had with Mr. Abdul Wahid, who apparently is a leader of an Islamic extremist group in the UK. So let's see how this goes.
Welcome back to Uncensored. My next guest has
see.
been a GP with
God,
the NHS
Piers.
for 25 years.
Hope everyone's doing
working
well.
as a mentor for recently qualified
Let's enjoy this.
doctors
Let's
at
see what happens.
surgery in Harrow, northwest London. Dr. Wahid
Alright.
Aziz Shader has another less wholesome identity as a leader of an Islamic extremist group, which was recently caught on camera calling for jihad and an anti-Israel demonstration.
Oh, naughty, naughty.
What is the solution to liberate people in the concentration camp called Palestine?
Jihad!
What is the solution?
Shader, also known as Abdul Wahid, joins me now. Well, welcome to you. Thank you for
Abdul
coming.
Wahidi. Go on,
you've come from
uncle.
Your work as a
Don't embarrass yourself, uncle.
Let me first just ask you your reaction to the clip we just played. These are members of your organisation, and they're allowed chants of
Your community.
of jihad on the streets of London. Do you think that's acceptable?
Answer.
Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. That demonstration was a very carefully planned demonstration where the placards, the banners, the speeches from the platform were calling for a military intervention of official armies of Muslim countries to rescue the people of Gaza with a situation of a civilian population of 2 million who are being massacred and slaughtered. Anywhere else in the world, you would find it a completely straightforward thing for people calling for military intervention.
But they weren't chanting, "We want military intervention." They were chanting jihad. So my question for you is simply, do you support the chanting of jihad?
The chanting of jihad by somebody there, unscripted.
Well, quite a few people there.
Actually, no, it was about 2 people.
So you would condemn that?
Of course, I wouldn't condemn that.
You wouldn't?
No, because jihad in that context is, as they understood it, and they were chanting, is for the official armies of Muslim countries to enter and intervene. We're in a situation now, Piers, where 1% of the population of Gaza has been killed. In the space of 2 months. 1% of the children of Gaza have been killed. Anywhere else in the world, you yourself called for military intervention in Ukraine by NATO with probably less legal and moral cause than there is in Gaza. When we stand...
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Because
So you think when Vladimir Putin illegally invaded Ukraine, the moral right of Ukrainians to respond is somehow equivalent to the moral right of people in Palestine after October the 7th to do the same? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that the people of Ukraine have actually one of the most powerful armies in the region.
It doesn't change the fact they were illegally invaded, does it, Doctor?
The people of Gaza have nobody helping them.
Well, they do. They have
you got Iran.
They have nobody helping them.
You got Syria and Lebanon.
They have nobody helping
They've got 30,000 terrorists who committed on October the 7th
they have
acts of
lined up
unspeakable
against them.
terrorism.
They have lined up against them.
And the leaders are billionaires,
murderous
apparently.
Israeli Defense Force. They have lined up against them the United States, who
it's Americans'
today
fault
in the
now.
Washington
Go on,
Post, it
Uncle.
was said that the white phosphorus that's being used by the IDF
Bring a different
is
script,
supplied by
Uncle.
them. They have lined up against them the Britain and the EU. They have lined up against them the Arab rulers in the region who carry on their trade cooperations.
Listen, as I've made clear, Doctor, I think a lot of the response from Israel, particularly right now, I would deem to be testing everyone's sense of what is proportionate. Right? There's no question. I do not subscribe to the view it's genocide. Well,
that is the understatement of the century.
Possibly, but I think they have a right to defend themselves against a terror group who have gone on record in the last 2 weeks as saying they want to do what happened on October the 7th again and again.
The children of Gaza.
I understand. It's horrific. It's horrific.
It's beyond horrific.
What is it? It's horrific,
because
right?
literally what we are watching on our phones, on our laptops, on our TVs, is an extension of what's been happening since 1948.
But let me play you your reaction. All right, I understand. Let me play you after October the 7th. A few days later, you took part in a talk on YouTube, and you said this.
Okay.
Brave Mujahideen, they gave the enemy a punch on the nose. All right? And it's a very welcome punch on the nose.
Wow, punch on the nose.
How can you categorize a terror attack
Naughty
in which
uncle.
1,200 mostly innocent
And the group is
civilian
banned in
people
Germany, Russia,
were
much of the Middle
brutally
East. Not even the
attacked,
Middle East won this group.
raped, tortured,
Why does the UK have this
beheaded,
group here, bro?
and murdered? How can you, a British NHS doctor or NHS doctor in Britain,
Yeah, say
how
punch in
can
your nose.
you say that's a welcome punch on the
Punch in the
nose?
nose, you know. Boo, uncle.
Will you let me answer fully?
Yes.
Defend
I will
yourself,
be
uncle.
frank. I'll be as
Don't
concise
sell
as I
taquilla
can
fried
be,
chicken.
but if you give me the courtesy of letting me answer fully,
Yeah, answer.
I will defend the right of the Palestinians to resist an occupation.
resist.
When you look at that,
That's not resistance, that's terrorism.
when you look at what happened and the 7th of October, as if that is the day that
That's
everything
terrorism,
started.
say
uncle. He
that.
got you
You
there.
didn't say that, but when
You're gonna
people
be
look,
Do you think
dancing
what
now,
happened
bro.
that day was a terrorist attack?
when
Answer.
people
Well,
look,
do you? Do
you
you?
know, the word
Answer.
terrorism has become
Yeah.
so.
Oh, he's redefining the word
politicized.
terrorism
Actually,
now.
not really.
No,
the word
you
can be
terrorism,
deeply sympathetic
the
to the
word-
plight of
God.
Palestinian civilians, which I am, by the way, and have expressed many times.
the word-
what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't do is be weaselly mouthed about what happened
No,
on
no,
October the
no.
7th.
I asked you to
Don't
let me
whistling,
finish.
uncle.
I
Terror
asked you
attack.
to finish.
Yeah, but
Be a
you're
weasel.
equivocating about it being a terror attack.
I'm not.
Yeah,
and I will
he is.
explain why. Okay.
I explain it.
The word terrorism, by the way, in India
Okay,
last
yeah.
month.
Oh,
We're not talking about
India.
India, talking about
The word terrorism in India, people who
go
supported
to
the Australian
India,
cricket team
uncle.
have been arrested under terrorist offences. In the West Bank, people who are have been told, if you reveal what happened in the prisons, you will
Yeah.
be arrested on terrorist
Do you
charges.
think what happened October the 7th
No,
was a terror
because
attack?
it's
Answer.
a
Oh, he
resistance.
said no.
Not a terror attack.
Piers, if, and it's
uncle.
if,
NHSGP.
You're exposing
I'm asking
yourself,
you to let me
uncle.
finish. If,
Yeah,
right,
if, you
our
know.
Islamic standard in conflict, in warfare,
Oh,
our
Sharia law, you
Prophet,
mean?
peace be upon him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he
Alex.
said, you can't kill children, you can't kill women, you can't kill the elderly, you can't mutilate.
Hamas did all that.
If anybody did that,
If, what do you mean if?
I say
you know.
because...
They literally broadcast it on their own
uncle.
streaming
and,
platforms.
well, I'll tell you what, a
Uncle,
lot
you're
of us
exposing
saw.
yourself,
Hamas
uncle.
broadcast it merrily to the world.
And what
They
here's,
did.
here's us doing these terrible things.
They
What
did,
do
they
you mean
did.
if?
What many of
Wow,
us saw on
uncle.
that day were videos coming out
You're
showing
exposing
people
yourself,
saying,
uncle.
we will not harm women, we will not harm
Oh,
children.
do me a favour.
No, that's what...
Doctor.
Uncle.
I'm saying that. Resistance is a right
clutching at
in
straws,
Islam.
uncle.
It's a right in international law. It's even a right that
Resistance,
Churchill
you know.
said in his History of the English-speaking Peoples. That is, he actually
Hamas
wrote
are a
in that
terrorist
book,
group,
it is a
uncle.
primary right
not a
of
resistance
men
group.
to
Come on
kill
now.
and die for the land they live in.
You literally
And he
just
went-
read me a
he went-
description
he
of
went-
what people who follow Islam are not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And Hamas
Yeah.
did all of those
And then-
things.
and-
but your response is to say, well, hang on,
Oh.
I've seen videos of them saying, we don't want to do that stuff.
No,
I find that pretty
These are
offensive,
words,
Doctor.
uncle.
find-
Yeah,
We all
very
know they
offensive,
did it because
uncle.
they boasted to the world with their own videos
I
what
find-
they were
They
doing.
did,
I
they
find
did,
it
Piers.
amazing
That's because
that
he's selling taquilla, Piers.
respected journalists like yourself
Yeah.
have seemed to have suspended their critical
No,
faculties.
I'm believing what Hamas wanted me to see.
Well, you're believing what you saw.
No,
I'm
no.
telling you,
What
this is
Hamas
a
themselves
resistance.
broadcast
broadcast
to
it,
the
yeah.
world because they wanted
Exactly,
to take
uncle.
great glee in what they've done.
Let me.
They did,
I,
they
There's no ambiguity about it.
I
Nothing.
asked you to let me finish.
Uncle,
and
you're
I'm
on the
gonna-
ropes,
Don't answer
uncle.
questions.
I will answer the
On
question.
the ropes, uncle.
Let's agree on a principle. If atrocities were committed, right, I will never condone them. Right, I will say that.
So do you condemn what happened on
Okay.
October the 7th?
Answer.
If atrocities are committed, you know who's
What do you mean
responsible?
if? No, they
If,
were.
you know.
Who's responsible for
If
it?
you
then?
know.
Ah, so you don't
the
condemn
Jews.
it.
Okay.
I
who
say
is
Jews' fault.
responsible
The Jews brought it on themselves.
No, actually, I would say more than that. I would say the powers that believe that Israel should be a colony for themselves in the Middle East, they are the ones
Do you
responsible.
know what? I'm really struggling. I've got to be honest with you. I'm
Uncle.
really struggling.
Uncle,
Do
he's
you know
exposing
That
himself.
a British National Health Service doctor of 25 years,
GP,
a man
you
who's
know,
supposed to be
UK
seeing
GP.
patients all day, every day and putting them right,
Yeah.
is incapable of saying what happened when it was literally broadcast to the world by a terror group.
It was.
Nor do you think they're terrorists. You think it's resistance. You seem to want to believe what justify it. You don't even believe what they showed us with their own technology.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious. Do you think
guy
any
is
of this is
blind.
compatible with you being a doctor in the
don't-
National Health
Yeah.
Service?
You don't
Absolutely
have to be a
not,
doctor
Piers.
Do your
to
patients
want to-
know that you believe these things?
You don't have to be a doctor.
He should be sacked.
care for the lives of 2 million people in Gaza. You don't have to be a
I'm
doctor.
concerned about whether your patients here in this country, where Hamas are a prescribed terrorist organisation.
And I've said,
they're listening to this interview, do these patients know your views?
have said to you.
Do they know your views?
I don't talk to my patients about my views in a 10-minute consultation, do I? Nobody does that. It's just a foolish question, isn't it? That's a foolish question. Yeah. Nobody talks to.
Why do you use a different name?
I use my name.
Well, you don't. You have two names. One, the leader of the group.
Abdul Wahid is a name that
an
family,
extremist
friends,
group.
and other people
To
call
him.
Actually, even some people.
That's not the name you use at work, right?
Even some people at work. And
What's his
Wahid
real name,
is
Piers?
my legal name, which people use in other forums. That's not a very unusual.
In May 2023,
Piers, no, I have to. No,
read it.
Give me the courtesy.
You know
of letting
why?
me
Because
finish.
your answers were so outrageous.
You censor.
Yeah,
That's
obfuscate.
your
No.
Yeah,
I don't censor.
Doesn't like to answer
the
questions
person doing
directly.
Censoring is you.
No, you are
Right,
Who
Toad.
wants me to try and understand and believe that what Hamas showed us, boasted about with their own technology, broadcasting it to the world, was not what we saw. That's some censorship. That is actually the purest personification
You got you there, God.
I've ever encountered.
When you bring Mark Regev onto the show,
Yeah.
and you question him, lightweight questioning, albeit lightweight questioning about the atrocities that have happened.
Well, you think
since
it's lightweight. I actually ask you difficult questions.
Actually, you don't ask difficult questions.
I haven't seen that debate, actually.
You completely
I'm not making no comments on that.
sit there and listen to the most ridiculous explanations.
Unlike you and your answers, you mean?
Well, you don't give me the chance to say.
No, I've heard your answers.
No, you didn't.
That's the one I call Hamas a terrorist group. That's
You
one
don't? Well, let me okay, let's do a little quick fire.
Pop quiz.
Let's do a little quick fire recap. Do you think Hamas are a terror group?
I believe it's a resistance organisation.
Okay. Do you think what they did on October the 7th was a terror attack?
I believe that if civilians got killed on that day, it is appalling. It is appalling.
You're a doctor, man.
It's appalling.
You're a doctor in
I
the
also
NHS.
believe.
What do you mean
I also
if?
believe
1,200 people got massacred.
and 1% of the population.
I can
Gaza
share your
died.
concerns about what's happened.
You know you do.
Oh, no, I do.
No, you
oh, no, I do.
16
I do.
years.
But
16
I cannot
years they
believe
live in
a
prison
doctor
camps.
is saying the word
16.
if people got victims of atrocity. If. On October the 7th. How can you say that?
So what? You tell me this.
Uncle,
What
you're
is a
exposed,
proportionate
Uncle.
response to 16 years
No,
of
let's
living in a
focus.
cage?
No.
What is a proportionate
Not a
response?
terror attack.
What is not a terror attack?
Hadouken.
If they just attacked IDF.
Yeah, I've asked many times what is proportionate,
So do you
right?
accept that? So you're saying just to attack the IDF would have been acceptable?
I personally do not believe.
Answer that.
I'm answering
Is just
this.
to
Let me
attack
answer
the
your
IDF
question.
acceptable?
I'm going to say this.
We might be able to agree.
I
We
think
might be able to
I
Uncle
think the
Wahidi.
strategy at the moment.
Can we answer
Let
that?
me answer the
If
question.
they had agreed-
Let me
Yeah,
answer the
Uncle.
question.
Don't be
Let
scared,
me
Uncle.
answer the
Yes or
question.
no?
Oh.
If they had
The
just
answer-
attacked military targets, acceptable.
My view of what they're doing is I don't think it's going to work. I don't think the IDF is going to eradicate Hamas. And if that is the mission statement,
could agree on
and in the
that.
process,
We could agree
they
on that.
kill tens of thousands of
could agree on
innocent
that.
men, women, and children. If they do that, I think they will radicalize an entire new generation and make it worse. That's my honest view of what I'm now witnessing.
Fair
but
enough.
let me come back to
That's
but
why.
hang
come
on.
back
That's
to
why
him,
when
Piers.
we
Come
talk
back to him,
about
Piers.
military intervention.
Fine, it's-
Actually,
what happened?
what we want.
But doctor, what happened on October 7th wasn't a military intervention.
It wasn't.
It was a
we want-
terror attack.
What we want
It was.
is a
And you
military
don't even think it
intervention.
happened, do you?
What we want
Wow,
is
he
a
has wanna
military
condemn it.
intervention from Muslim
Uncle
armies
Takia.
to
He wants Sharia law,
rescue
Piers.
a beleaguered people
Boo.
and
Ban
replace
Sharia
an
law.
apartheid
Palestinian
system.
people have to be given the same human rights.
you do me the
as-
respect?
They have to be
Not
given.
to
No, I will interrupt you. It's not your
Yeah,
show. You don't
interrupt
just talk
him.
forever.
Well,
right?
Yeah, tell him.
I'm going to tell you what I
Tell
think
him,
about the
Piers.
Palestinian plight, which I've talked
Alright.
about many times. You've obviously
Yeah,
listened.
yeah, yeah.
I think they should be given the same human rights as everybody
You
else,
think that
and
for
particularly
75
the
years
same
they've been
rights of the
occupied?
Israelis. I think it's been a
Okay.
75-year conflict with.
No, conflict.
Yes, a conflict. Yes, a conflict.
Where people have been driven out
Yes,
of their
a
homes.
conflict.
750,000
Yes,
people in
it's
the Nakba.
wrong. That was wrong.
Encroaching on
That
the
was
West
wrong.
Bank more and more and
That
more.
was wrong.
No,
So
That's
have
so
been all
easy.
the
He
wars
could easily
launched
condemn
against
it.
Israel. That's been wrong. All of it is wrong. Right, the history
Exactly. Now,
shows
condemn
this is a
Hamas now,
conflict
Uncle.
riddled with
Things
wrongs on
didn't
both
start on
sides,
the
right?
7th of October.
Condemn Hamas,
No, it
Uncle.
didn't.
Come
I
on
never
then.
said it did.
You seem to.
No,
The
you
whole-
don't even think it happened
the
on October
whole
the 7th.
framing
Yeah.
of the debate
You
here.
don't even think it happened.
I do think it happened.
Oh, you did
I
happen.
do
It
think
did
it
Oh,
happen.
okay.
happened.
You condemn
1,200
it.
people were massacred,
I
weren't they?
think 1,200 people were killed.
Were they massacred?
Yeah, they were killed.
Right,
They
by
were killed.
terrorists.
They were killed by people
resistance
who
group.
were resisting an occupation.
Bullshit.
And
They're terrorists.
yeah, well, that's your view.
It is
Terrorists,
my
and
view. By the way, it's the view
God.
of any person
Everyone
who
knows
is
that,
not
yeah.
Israeli or
He
Palestinian.
wants Sharia
right?
law,
Anyone
though,
with
Piers,
a-
that's
I
the thing.
disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Oh,
Have you
uncle.
not heard
Let me-
guys,
exposed
one
Uncle
man's terrorist
Takia.
and one man's freedom
Yeah.
fighter? Have you
Stop
never
selling
heard that?
taquilla fried chicken,
Have you never
Uncle.
heard
Let me just play.
Ooh,
I want to
Uncle.
just read you this.
Take your
In
Sharia
May
law with you.
2023, Luqman Makim, who's a prominent member of your organisation, called for an end to the secular order so that, quotes, the UK will no longer be able to pump its liberal filth, its LGBT filth, its feminist filth into the heart of the Muslim world. Do you agree with him?
I agree that
Oh.
the West is pumping secular democracy into the Muslim world. And
Doing LGBT filth?
I agree that actually what we want to see in the Muslim world is a system
Sharia
with an
law.
accountable government.
You want Sharia
right?
law,
An
Uncle
elected
Naughty.
leader,
Boo.
upholding family values.
Sharia
right?
law.
We want to see an economic system where wealth is circulated.
Do you believe in equal
Among
rights
Muslims
for gay
only.
people?
Boo.
I believe that actually the Islamic standard of law should be the standard of law in the country. Obviously, that's the
Sharia
standard
law.
I believe in.
And
I believe,
just to clarify,
I believe in.
what is your view of homosexuality?
Asa.
Homosexuality is a sin. Don't
Sin,
I?
it's wrong.
Sin.
So when gay people come to your practice, do you treat them?
Oh, of course.
Why?
Because I treat all my patients with kindness and without
Do you tell them
discrimination.
you think what they do is a sin?
What an absurd thing to say.
Why wouldn't you be
Why would
upfront
I
about
say
that?
that? Why would I say that? Because they don't come.
Why don't you try going
they
back to
don't
your
come-
surgery
they don't
tomorrow?
come to me.
Yeah.
Why don't you go to surgery tomorrow and say, before we go any further to your patients, I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
you to know what I think. I think that I agree with the guy who said
do you-
that
do you
this
understand-
country
filth.
is full of LGBT filth,
do you know-
feminist
do you
filth.
understand-
I don't think Hamas are a terror group. I don't think we did October the 7th was a terror attack. And by the way, do you want me now to treat you?
Do you want to understand what
I don't understand any of that.
professional
Yeah,
integrity?
yeah, we don't understand you. You're backwards,
You think that's professional
Uncle.
integrity?
No, I think
Take
professional
that mentality to
integrity is
to
treating
Saudi
people
Arabia,
I treat
Uncle.
with
Yeah.
respect
We
and
don't
with
need to
kindness
hear.
How do I know
and
you
with
do?
fairness. Well, they know I do.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Do they know you think they're filth?
I didn't say that.
You agreed with what he
I
said.
didn't agree with what he said.
You said, I agree.
No, I agree.
I can play the tape back
Yeah,
if you
he
like.
said that.
I
He said
agree
that.
with the fact that the Muslim world should have the Islamic system.
Ah, the
I
Sharia
didn't say
law.
I agree with. I don't use words.
You want
like
full
that.
Sharia law for this country?
For this country, I'm working for. Our group works for Islam, the restoration of Islam
You're
in the
working
Muslim
for
world.
it, you know.
But here,
We work to uphold Islamic
They want
values
Sharia
in our
law in the
personal
UK,
life and in the Muslim
people.
community,
Do you want
and we
Sharia
actually
law
try.
here?
The uncle is
I
crazy.
would love. You know what?
you love it?
Deport
I
this
tell you
guy.
what, in
We don't
this
need this-
last
this-
2
this-
months,
this guy
one
in
of
this
the
country.
strangest things has been where people here have been looking at the people in Gaza and they've been going and looking and reading the Quran and they've been looking at it. And I'd invite you and your audience
to
to do that.
just to
I would
clarify-
do that. And
Just
they,
clarify,
and
you would
they
like
are
Sharia
not-
law here?
and they are
Answer.
not convinced by these
doctor.
neocon.
Would you like Sharia law here?
quotes and
Answer,
caricatures of Islam? Are
Uncle.
they?
Actually, I don't
People-
think.
people who-
all I've done is
Oh,
ask you
that's what
straightforward
answer.
questions.
Yeah.
You've
Yes, you
revealed
have.
your beliefs in the answers.
By obfuscating.
Yeah, you have.
I
by
you
not
may not even
condemning
realise what
Hamas.
you've done, but you have.
I believe in Islamic law.
You expose yourself
and
as
I
a
don't
Jew
believe in
hater,
the
Uncle.
caricature that you try and present of Islam.
Uncle,
Would you
stop
like
playing the
Sharia law in this
victim,
country?
Uncle.
I would
Answer.
love to see. I would love to see you want Sharia law in this country.
I don't want Sharia law in this country.
Well, that's your
right.
So you would.
Yeah, but I no.
yeah.
Would you?
I believe it's
Answer.
the. I
Answer.
believe it's the best system. But
So
I'm
you-
not working.
Ah,
I'm
so
not
you would.
working.
Would
to
you like
establish-
it in this country?
Answer.
I'm not
Uncle.
working
Yes or
to
no?
say-
Yes
I
or no,
believe
Uncle?
in Islamic. You know the.
Yes or no?
You know the Islamic
Answer.
civilization
Yes or no?
was the only
You'd be
civilization.
very quick to answer everything else. Yes or no?
Islamic civilization was the only civilization that brought
God.
peace to the Middle East for Muslims, Jews, and Christians. I
Boo,
would love to see that
Takia.
system there. Wouldn't you like to see
Jews
a
got
system?
expelled
pays-
from the
who pays your
Arabian
salary?
Uncle.
Wouldn't you like to
Ah,
see
yeah,
a
who pays,
system
who
where
pays your
Muslims,
salary,
Jews,
Uncle?
and Christians would live
I
side
don't
by
want
side
to
in
live
the Middle
under
East?
Sharia law.
It's not
We don't
about
want
Sharia
Sharia law,
I'm
no
talking about
way.
Middle
No, but
East.
you suggested you wanted it to be under Sharia law.
No,
here.
you suggest.
Do you or not?
You
Well, do you or not?
Answer. What are you laughing?
That's funny.
What's funny is your approach, Preston.
Why?
Honestly.
Just answer the question.
Because
Yeah,
you know
answer.
what's funny.
Yes or
about it.
no?
Oh, nobody
You
wants
either do
Sharia
or you
law.
don't. Right?
He's scared
I ask
because
the
he knows
question,
that he could be
the
in
answer is
trouble.
yes or no.
With the law.
Why can't you say yes
Exactly.
or no?
Because he'd be in trouble with the law.
Even Islamic system.
Would you like Sharia
Because
law
nobody
in
wants
this
Sharia
country?
law,
would
Uncle.
Yes or no?
I would love to
Go
see
away,
you.
Uncle.
No,
Deport
no,
this
answer
guy,
the
bro.
question. Never mind what I want.
Answer.
What do you want?
I want
Answer.
to see the Islamic system re-established.
Would you like
Was-
Sharia law
yeah,
in
yes
this
or
country?
no?
Last time I
Answer.
looked.
If Sharia
Last
law,
time,
if
Pierre,
Sharia
because
law-
guys are wasting time
if
now.
Sharia law means upholding family values, means looking after the poor.
Means no gays,
No
no
gays.
feminists, i.e. women who get above
Stone
themselves.
stone
right?
women for adultery.
Oh, I know what Sharia law wants for women.
Why do so many women become Muslim these days? Why do
Because they want to be
as the women in
oppressed. Is
Iran.
that what you're going to tell me?
No.
As the women in
Why do
Iran,
so many
and
They want to
God.
be oppressed.
women in the world become Muslim these days?
You tell me.
How come Muslim
you've
nations
gotta
don't want
ask
to
them.
take
Why
Muslim
don't you tell me what
refugees?
you
Thank
They
God.
seem to find it something that attracts them, Islam.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Many women in the
Uncle,
West become
Islamic is
Muslim.
not attractive, Uncle.
And for some reason,
Big
they
up the
seem to
uncles
like
too,
the
though,
fact
for coming
Do you
into the
work with
show and
women
making
doctors?
a
Yes,
fool
I
of
do.
himself.
And
How do they feel about your views on this?
I keep a very strict professional line between my.
Do they know
my
what your views are?
politics.
When they watch this, they're going to be surprised.
Some of them will know, some of them will
I
not.
think they will.
Some of them will know,
I think
some
they
of them will
will.
not.
Okay. Doctor, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you,
enlightening with your
Uncle.
responses. You may not realise quite how enlightening, but
Uncle
you might
Habibi.
find out when you see the
Thank you
realism.
for
So I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
obfuscating. Thank you for not condemning Hamas. Thank you for not condemning the massacre. And thank you for wanting to impose Sharia law. We don't want Sharia law in this country, Uncle, so you can take it back to the Middle East. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Like, share, and if you want me to make another video or commentary on this video, another video of this kind, like this, let me know on the comment section. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Let me play you, after October the 7th, a few days later, you took part in a talk on YouTube and you said this.
Brave Mujahideen, they gave the enemy a punch on the nose. All right? And it's a very welcome punch on the nose.